Okay, we're going to start off with Philip. He's an ex-special agent, CEO of his own business. Smart, energetic, physical. I think his skill to read people is going to be a good asset, but I think it's just going to piss people off. They're going to not trust him and end up getting rid of him. He seems a little, his work ethics and stuff seem a little brisk for the younger crowd, and I think that he's going to end up upsetting people and they're going to want to get rid of him.
Yeah, from his original bio, I thought the guy looked like a razor blade, really sharp, like he was just going to wade through the game without a problem. From what we saw on last week's episode, though, oh my God, he's either a genius or a complete nutcase. And what's with the pink underwear, really? I mean, come on.
Yeah, if he was going to make a statement, that's not the one he should have made.
Probably not. And at this point, I think he's in a position, he's either going to be included because they can trust him to be honest, but never really fully informed. Although, if he catches on that he's not being fully informed, he's gonna balk at that, and he's gonna end up getting flushed because they're not gonna put up with his over honesty or the lack of ability to truly trust him to keep his mouth shut.
Although I think from Rob's camp side of it, in that group, I think Rob may gravitate towards him now because I think he knows what's said is said, and I think you can believe that when Philip says something, he wants everything, he wants to know, he wants it all cut and dry, and if you don't follow that, it's going to be a problem. So that might work for Rob where it didn't for the others. But
true, but it's your classic Coach Wade handicap. You can get as far in the game you can get as far in the game as the other players allow you to. So moving on to Ralph. I'm still trying to figure this guy out. I think he's a lot smarter than he's putting out there. I do like the beard. I think good beard. I mean, just on beard alone, he should get to the merge. I think he's going to run the good old boy clown angle as much as he can, and hope they don't see him coming.
Yeah, he seems like a real down-to-earth guy. I mean, I think he's pretty intelligent. I mean, he's a farmer and all. I think he's kind of maybe a loose cannon, but again, I think he's underestimated. People look at him like maybe a dumb hillbilly, and I don't think he is. I would look for him to square off against Russell, and I thought that from the beginning, and of course from the previews of last week, that appears to be the case. But again, I think if he puts himself on the outside of Russell, they're going to dump him, and I'd like to see him stay in the game. I think he's smart enough. I think he can win it. He seems like a likable enough guy, so I'd like to see him play his cards right and stay in the game.
Well, there again, in his bio, though, he said he wants to play like Big Tom, like Rupert, and therein, I mean, if he can come outside the handicap of not being able to backstab when it comes down to you or me, he could do really well and go all the way to the end, but he's got to get outside that mold.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a threat to the California group, so they may try to get rid of him, but I don't know. I think if he plays his cards right, he can stay in the game a long time. I could see him in the final three, and I wouldn't mind seeing him win, man.
Yeah,
I think
he looks like a good guy. Now, Sarita, this lady makes me laugh. In her bio, she says, "Oh, I don't really detect any villains." Bingo! Because you are the villain. Yeah, she's evil. I mean, she just strikes me as evil. I mean, multiple marriages. I mean, gee, what was the one consistent problem in all of those? Could be Sarita. Could be. I mean, you got to look at that from the, evil doesn't recognize itself. Hitler didn't think he was wrong.
Yeah, I think she's a snake in hiding, and that's pretty much it. I don't know that she's going to bond real well with everybody. I think once the game starts playing and things get intricate, she's going to probably upset some people and then be on the out. I don't see her for being too long.
Yeah. Stephanie. Stephanie said in her bio she was going to, she's kind of modeling herself after Russell, and then to see Russell get off the helicopter there on the beach, I think everybody was just soiling themselves at that point, going, what do we do with this? And then how are they going to fit him into the game? And, she already in that first episode kind of put her out there as being Natalie White. Hey, here I am, I'm with you to the end. I know you picked a girl. And they had that little combo. So we'll see how that pans out. Hopefully she's smart enough to deal with it and to get through the game either under his wing or come out from under it, cut his throat, because otherwise she's toast.
Yeah, I think she's going to try and, I don't want to say ride him to the end, but I think she's going to try and be his ally so he can count on her. I don't think it's going to work. I think he's going to dump her as soon as he needs to, because I don't think he wants to be sitting there next to her. Now that works for her because that's going to give her a free ride. She's going to feel like she's played the game, and you know her play seems to be a lot like Russell's, but you know I don't think the two are going to mesh as well as she thinks. He'll use her as an ally, but I think outside of that, he's going to cut her loose whenever he needs to.
Now Steve, another NFL player, looks like he's in great shape. You just look at him in his cast interview there. He just sounds tired to me. I mean, maybe it's the gray hair throwing that vibe to me. I don't know, but he sounds tired. I don't think he's going to be a weak link in challenges. I think the women are going to cling to him a little bit, kind of as a father figure, and I'm sure he'll work that angle if it's offered to him. I haven't seen much of him so far, you know, in episode 1. It remains to be seen, but I don't know how well he's going to gel with the guys either.
Yeah, I got kind of mixed feelings with him. He almost comes off as just a little too old, but yet, you know, I know he's not that old. He's good physical shape. You know, being an ex-football player, having a lot of experience. Again, there's a group mentality, there's a leadership mentality, there's a physicality part of it. I don't have a real good read on him yet. I don't. You know, if he doesn't step up and be aggressive in the game, I think they're just going to walk on him and get rid of him.
Yeah.
He's not going to be very long if he doesn't. And I see a lot of that in his whole cast. If people don't step up and make their own destiny, they don't make their own choices to play the game, instead of just avoiding Rob and Russell, I think they're going to get squashed.
Well, that brings us to Rob and Russell, and I think in large part, casting has selected a group of people to act as a backdrop for Rob and Russell. You know, I said originally, you know, unless they give these guys some kind of special protection, they're going to be early outs because people just aren't going to want to deal with the drama. They're not going to want to deal with, you know, what they know about Russell, and they're not going to want to deal with the power player of Rob. And it's just smart money to get them gone early, because at the end of the day, you know, you've got 16 new people who, for them to have a Survivor experience that's about them, they need to get rid of Rob and Russell. You saw that in episode 1. Every single word out of Jeff's mouth during the challenges was, "Oh, look at Rupert."
Rupert's in the game now?
It's the R names.
How did he get there?
It's the R names. And, you know, look at Rob, you know, look at Russell. You know, oh, maybe Rob can pull his team from behind and lead his team because he's a puzzle maker. Rob. Well, you know what? You know, I'm one of the new people in the game. I don't need that. You know, especially, you know, some of these young, fresh faces that are looking to step off from this into some other, you know, piece of acting or music career or something. You know, you want some camera time, you want some face time, you get rid of Rob, you get rid of Russell.
Yeah, I think the majority of the group is going to steer clear of trying to dump them right away. Only because I think if you stir the hornet's nest, you're going to get stung. And I think that's what they're going to do, is they're going to try and not necessarily ride them, but avoid upsetting them, because it can go bad. You know, you're either with them or you're against them, and they know that. And they're in here to play the game too. You know, they have to make their choices to stay as long as they can. It's not given to them, and so they're playing the game too. And just assume that everybody's going to let them give them a free ride. I don't think that's true. I would, if it was me, I would work with them to be part of their group and be part of their allies.
I would agree with that.
Because I think you make yourself a huge target getting on their downside right away, and it's already happened to 3 people in one episode.
But at the same time, you have to stay open to the opportunity to vote them off.
Sure. I
take it the second it comes up.
I would agree. I don't think you can let them get to the finals for any reason, but I think at least getting to the merge on their good side is probably a good choice.
Or if you can ousted them before the merge, especially the people on Russell's tribe, because I think, especially the stronger men on that tribe, he's going to knock them down, or they're going to have to take him out.
There's pros and cons to keeping them in the game if you think that they're going to be sitting there at the end and nobody will vote for them, or you know, maybe you're the nice guy and you're the bad guy. I don't know which way that would go. You know, not everybody feels the same way I do, but I think it would be I think it would be a risk to let them get to the finals, but I think it would be more of a risk right now with this many people in the game to upset them, because like I said, you know, on Rob's crew right now, you 3 people already on the outs, and it's been one episode. So.
Well, I was cheering Russell his first season. And Russell impressed me in Heroes versus Villain, but he didn't change his game. Now, he didn't have an opportunity to see his own play at that point. Now he has had that opportunity. So at this point, he needs to jump into the Sandra strategy, especially in the situation he's in, where everybody's going to want him gone. Whoever it is, as long as it's not me, he needs to be okay with that.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to change his game and be a little more attuned to the social aspect of it, because again, he's upset a lot of people in 2 seasons already, and that's come back to haunt him. And Rob, I think Rob's a good player, and he's smart enough. He'll call like you see it. He'll call everybody out. He did it to Francesca and Philip and Christina. So he's not going to put up with it, and he's going to make you prove what you say. And if you're not, like I said, if you're not with him, you're against him. So I think that's going to. Everybody knows that, and that's going to carry him a long way. And I wouldn't mind seeing him win. I just don't think he's going to. I think they're going to axe him before that. That would be the smart thing to do. But I think it's going to be an interesting season. It needs to pick up the pace a little bit with some of the other people, or it's just going to be follow the leader, I think, which isn't a great season.
Well, what'll be interesting is they do have a tribe switch up, and Rob and Russel end up on the same tribe. For that reason, I think they'll probably avoid a tribe switch up, because they want to keep those two separate until they come to the merge. And that's one thing you see about Survivors. Yeah, they don't specifically direct the game, but you can see that production influences, the game, and they clearly want Rob and Russel in there for the long haul.
And that's a good reason for Rob and Russell to form an alliance with certain groups of people that they're going to have some backing. So if that does happen, they've got some power.
Yeah.
But it's usually a numbers game at that point, so it's hard to say.
Well, that's Marland and Kirk for this week. We're trying to keep this a lot shorter. We had a lot to get over. We wanted to cover, background on all the cast members, and a little bit of discussion about that first episode, and try to be a little more timely and keep it shorter on a weekly basis here.
We'll typically post a day after the episode, so look first then. Thanks a lot.